Okay, today we are doing fourth Perek, Mishnah 21 of pirke Avoth. Rabbi Eliezer HaKapar אומר, הקנאה והתאווה והכבוד מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. Now, there's something very specific about these three apparently. Kin'ah, usually translated as jealousy.
Right.
Ta'ava is
Havas.
Right.
Urge.
like somebody who has base desires, is constantly looking for new ways of stimulating nerve endings, and kavod. Kavod is also going after prestige. Motzi'in et ha'adam min ha'olam. Very interesting lashon. Motzi'in et ha'adam min ha'olam. You see, Rishonim have a problem with this language. Exactly, obviously, something is being communicated here very specifically. What does it mean, Motzi'in et ha'adam min ha'olam? They take him out of this world. What is that supposed to mean? So, before we look at the Rambam, I think what is going on over here, there's something, as we said, especially about these three. So these three, the problem is very much self-made, very much contained within what it is. See, somebody who has jealousy, his life is not a life because he is Yatzar min ha'olam. He doesn't live in his own world. He's constantly, his world, his point of view is somebody else's. You know the famous Ibn Ezra says, how could Torah say, don't be jealous, or don't wish what is not yours? How could Torah say this? It's very difficult to control feelings. If I feel jealous, I feel jealous. How am I going to control it? Torah could tell me, do this, don't do that. It's very hard to tell me, feel a certain way. I feel what I feel. If I'm jealous, I'm jealous. I see a nice house, I see a nice car, and I'm jealous of it. So how could I say don't be jealous? It's a fact, I am jealous. So does Ibn Ezra say? Anybody remembers the answer of Ibn Ezra? It's in a certain Dibur. He says, Ibn Ezra says it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. I'm just going to preface it with one question, but we'll be able to answer that question also. Remember when we learned Rambam we're doing Rambam on pirke Avoth now. When we did Rambam in Yad HaChazaka in the Halachot, when we did what we call Midot, what did Rambam call it? Hilchot? Deot. Knowledge. He called it knowledge. We would call it anything other than knowledge. It's not knowledge. Midot is the way how to deal, how to act, good habits. What does he call it? Deot.
Let's change it to
Perek. But Rambam calls it Deot. Cool. So keep that in mind for a second. Says Ibn Ezra an unbelievable thing. Says Ibn Ezra, you are never jealous of what you don't think is within your realm. He says a person is not jealous of an eagle's wings. How come I don't have wings? You know, you walk around thinking, if I just had wings, yes, once in a while you may have a wish. But you're not jealous of it. You may wish, what if we... It's wishful thinking, what if we do? But it's not true jealousy, it's not real jealousy. Why is that? Because he doesn't see it as part of what he should have. I'm only jealous of what I think I should have had. I may not be jealous of Bill Gates, because I don't see myself making that much money. But the guy who makes 10%, 15%, whatever more than me, I'm jealous. Why? Because I think what he's got, I should have. So it's not a feeling absolute and pure. It's a feeling that comes after you made a decision. You made a decision that what he has, Magiali, I deserve it. I deserve having what he's got. So then you become jealous. It may be an unconscious decision, but it's a true decision. It comes on top of that. And he continues to say, the same way, I gave him a mashal of Bill Gates, because we live in a capital society. But he gives the example of, says, a villager will never be jealous and thinking of, I should marry the princess, the king's daughter. Never going to go to. He's not jealous. Here, the princess became engaged to. He's so jealous. He's not. He never saw that within his realm of his reality, as we say in English. It was never on his radar. Jealousy only happens when I made, albeit unconscious, but it has to be a decision. It has to be a decision that this is magiali. I deserve to have that. I deserve his. Once you decide that, then jealousy happens. So that's what he says. That's what Torah tells you. Don't have this feeling. Because the feeling is not. You start earlier. If you correct your point of view, if you realize that this is what Hashem has provided with each one of us, and how where we are in life and what we are in life, at this moment this is how it should be. It's not a question of deserve, it's a question of where I belong, where I am. So then jealousy becomes much easier. Much easier. So therefore, that's what Ibn Ezra says, that's how Torah could give you a commandment, a prohibition against a feeling. Because not the feeling, it's the original conscious or subconscious the decision that goes before it. Now it seems that Rambam is expanding this idea to everything. Everything about our, what we call midot, start with a knowledge, an idea, a decision. That's why jealousy, Rambam would call that in Ilchot De'ot. You know why you're jealous? Ibn Ezra said why you're jealous. Because you made a decision. Your de'ah was wrong. Something about the way you look, the way you think. Your point of view is corrupt. That's the problem of jealousy. It's not bad feelings that you have. The feelings come on following and getting a piggyback ride on that point of view and the conscious or subconscious decisions.
Is it a secondary feeling?
I don't know. I don't want to get bogged down in words. Secondary, primary. These are just words. The point is, if you fix your way of thinking, looking, understanding, and accepting things, it will be different.
So anger is the same?
Anger is absolutely, everything is the same.
Oh my.
Everything is the same.
Amazing.
So you can control jealousy by fixing the way you think what you deserve, really.
That's right. You feel jealous of what you think should have been mine. Now, we've spoken about the fine line between jealousy and ambition. Jealousy and ambition are different. Ambition could also be bad, but in general, ambition is a positive idea. Is a positive feeling, mostly in general. If we don't have ambition, we don't get places. I've talked about this before. Ambition is mostly from our neshama. Ambition is not from our animalistic side. Is not the side that we share with other living beings, with an animal kingdom. Animals don't have much ambition. As I said last time, the cow who's sitting in a dark pen never thinks, I wish I had a pen with sunlight. They have no ambition. So that's why they don't invent anything. Right? We sat in a house at one point and we said, you know what? It would be nice if we had sunlight in this house. We came up with the idea of a window. An invention happens. That's
what about more smarter animals?
What?
Smarter animals like.
They are smart. The animals, some of them are very smart, but
beavers.
ambition they don't have.
They want to get from this side of the.
A need that they have, they find a better way of taking care of it. So that's not ambition. That's not ambition. I was reading in National Geographic. There is a self-contained society of chimpanzees on an island in Africa. It's an island. It's like a small island surrounded by rivers. It's not like a but it's right off of Africa or next to Africa, I don't know. But it's an amazing thing. He said they do something that no other chimpanzee families or societies do. Chimpanzees, they try to get as much protein in their diet as they could. They grab small baby deers, they go and raid deers, if they see the mothers are not looking, and they take the babies.
Eat it?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
They like protein.
That's not their food.
What? They get anything they could. They eat mostly fruits and seeds, but they try to get some protein on their diet.
Right.
They eat a lot of ants also.
Wow.
So a lot of chimpanzees go into ant hills. They find a stick. They put the stick in the ant hill. So they lick it like a lollipop. You have a few you have a few ants on it, and they do that. Now the chimpanzees within this island, before they do that, they put the stick in their mouth, and with their teeth they shred the tip. They make it sort of like a broom. The tip of the wood is all shredded, will be made into a broom. So when they stick it in, this way you get much more ants. They came up with a tool in a way. They have a tool. So this, however it is started, I don't know how it started, who knows how many years ago. However it is started, this, let's call it skill, it is a skill, is passed on from chimpanzees to their children. But the other chimpanzees, other places, they never invented it, they never thought of it. This habit, or behavior I should say, this behavior is exclusive to this society of chimpanzees.
Do they teach it? I mean, how is it learned?
I guess they learn it by watching their parents, observation. Right, so now that observation is something that we have discussed before. Kuzari says, animals have memory, but no imagination. They see something, they could copy it, they could remember it. They see a way to do something, they will copy it. Right? You show an animal, that was also another study done, they put food out of reach, but then they taught them to move a box and go stand on the box and get the food. So once you teach it, they could do it on their own.
They have imagination then?
No, that's not imagination, that's memory. Memory means, the way Kuzari says it, once they see something, they will remember that to use it in future. But to solve a problem on their own, that's much more difficult. That's imagination. To figure out that. Okay. Be that as it may. Now,
but ambition starts from jealousy.
no, ambition does not start with jealousy. That's what I want to explain.
Somebody is success, we want to copy him, you
Okay.
want to be like him.
Very good. Very good. So the fine line between ambition and jealousy, that's what I wanted to talk about. Ambition usually is a good thing. So jealousy, the problem of jealousy is that I am not looking at myself. And I think this is exactly what this Mishnah is saying. All three of these things. You are living another's life. Why do you want to drive this car? It's more comfortable for you.
My
It
neighbor
makes you-
has.
Or because he does it. And I know, and you probably know also, people who live a harder life just to copy them. Driving this car is more difficult for me. I would be more comfortable in a Corolla, but I just got to do it because he does it. That's jealousy. Jealousy is because I want to be him. Ambition is I want to get someplace. I have my own goals and whatever. Now he may have been an inspiration to me. Oh, let's see how he does it. I do it. Right? It's a good way. It's not a good way. However it is. Now, usually ambition is good. Usually everything obviously could be corrupt. Everything could be taken to extremes and be corrupted. But when I have a goal in my mind, and I want to achieve the goal for my own goals, now, the neighbor being there or not there doesn't matter. The only thing that it may have mattered is that it perhaps educated me. And education could happen both ways also. I see something he does. Oh, this is wonderful. I'll do it. I see something he does. You know what? I shouldn't do it like this. Right? I learned from where it didn't work for him, and I'll do it differently. That's not jealousy. That is not jealousy. Jealousy is I want to be him. Right? Oh, look, Baruch Hashem, he built a new house, so I have ideas also. But just because, it doesn't make sense for me. I just want to do him because I want to be him or like him. That is jealousy. Ambition is not my goals. Now, he was sort of an inspiration, sort of a way to do or a way not to do. That is not jealousy. That is not jealousy. That's a fine line. And that's why it's Muslim Olam. Someone who's jealous is not in this world. He's never going to enjoy his life. You know why?
It's not his life.
Because it's not his life. He's always living another's life. What do you want from life? The car that he has. The family that he has. The thing that he has. It's never going to happen. It's never going to be a life. You know, the famous, became very famous, famous line. If I would say you could write a book on this line, it's not expression anymore. Rabbi Dr. Abraham Tversky did write a book on it. The Kotzker Rebbe says, if I am, you heard that one, if I am I and you are you, then I am and you are. But if I am you and you are me, then none of us are. And it's true. It's really true. You could write a book on this line. It's an amazing line. It's an amazing line. So, you gotta be you. Doesn't mean I can't get inspiration, thought, ways of doing things, ways of avoiding things from another. Of course not. Yes, from every person, every situation, everything. But I live my life. If you're jealous, isn't it beautiful, the words of the Mishnah? Motzin et ha'adam min ha'olam. He doesn't live his life. He's living somebody else's life. What do you want from life? What the other person decided is his car, is a good car. What the other person decided, it's just, You've seen this bumper sticker, don't follow me, I'm lost too. That's what their life is all about. Their life is about following another, and they don't know where they're going.
He is copying the other neighbor also.
Okay, that's something else.
Chances are.
Okay, so that's number one. That's jealousy. The other one is tava. Now, tava obviously also, there are things that we feel we need. There are urges that a person has. And the rest of Pirke Avot talks about urges, where they should be controlled, how they should be worked, where we do satisfy our urges, where we don't satisfy our urges. What I think over here goes in line with the rest of the Mishnah is where you go look after another story, what this world is all about, what America is all about. Find another stimulation, right? Whereas he's not here, Mr. Ishmael, he always says, kill the time. Right? Find another stimulation to sort of keep myself busy. That's the tab what we are talking about. I am tired of my life. I don't want to live my life. I want another, what is the modern word for it? Or is what do they call it nowadays? Escapism. Escapism. I need something to escape. That's what they say. Say drugs are escapism. All entertainment industry is escapism. That's what it is.
From reality.
From life. Yeah, I don't want to be in my life.
What's the difference between jealousy and ta'ava?
See, ta'ava is those urges that somehow stimulate, I guess I could say, nerve endings. That's what ta'ava is. Ta'ava is, you want to somehow thrill you. It gets into crazy places, ta'ava. That's what it is. Like Ramban writes at the end of Devarim that one who goes after ta'ava, that means there is a difference between I like chocolate, so I eat chocolate. but I'm bored with my life. Let me try something else. It's never ending. Because you get bored with this, you get bored with that, you get bored with that. And we know, nowadays we know, it becomes, Ramban writes it, as I said at the end of the verse. Lerabot, that's how he learns the pasuk, is machloket da'at to understand. Lerabot et lesafot et harevoa lesemeah. Says, pasuk says you will connect the thirsty to the satisfied. That means you will become thirsty. Ramban learns it means you will become thirsty for those things you are satisfied. Those things that a person has no urge for, people will have urge for. You see nowadays, people have crazy urges. People have an urge to die. People get a rush from finding themselves almost dead. They have to be choked. They have to. Why is that? That's terrible. That is, it's not, okay, you know what? I feel like chocolate, let me go have a piece of chocolate. I need to find a new stimulation. That's terrible.
Greater stimulation.
That's right. Now again, you're not living your life. You're not looking, see, what is it that I need? What is it that I want? You know, okay, you have to control what you need and what you want also, but this is much worse already. You're outside of your life. You want to find something else. I don't want it to be my life. There is a study that shows, it's very interesting, if that is maybe some part of it, the background of the Torah is quite strict when it comes to tattoos, so that you know, people that do tattoos also like that. They're constantly trying to get rid of themselves. They want to be, okay, you know what, I don't like the yesterday Joe. I want a new Joe. That's what tattooing is. I'm not the same person as yesterday. That's what the study showed.
Outdo themselves.
That's right. It's just that they're constantly running away, so they're not living their life. They're not living their life. You gotta live your own life. The same as you know, kin'ah is living someone else's life. Ta'ava is living a life that is specifically not me. You know, I want to find something new, something else, something that I didn't have, something that.
What if that is you?
What?
What if that's you? I'm serious. I mean, that's.
So that is the worst. You have brought this problem of not wanting you to a level where that has become you. You got to dial it back. You're telling me he became a person that cannot be himself at all.
No, he is, by definition, a person who always likes to be stimulated
Every
by
man has
new
chaos.
heights, X factor. I don't
So
know.
I'm saying, I think there is something wrong here. There is something wrong here because he's never faced himself. He is afraid of himself. Such a person needs to sit down and get in touch with himself. He's afraid of himself. He's afraid of, you know, if I look at the mirror, I will see a failure. If I look at a mirror, I don't like, so I gotta do something new. And finally, of course, is kavod. Kavod, in a way, is the worst of this pattern of three. Kavod, he has no self-image whatsoever other than what others give him. How much are you worth? Well, it depends how many people stand up for me. How do you feel about yourself? Depends who's afraid of you. His self-image is only and purely based on others' reaction or interaction with him. And he needs their respect in order to function. He needs it. People get it. It's not a question of getting or not getting. In a society, when people see certain positive aspects about someone, they respect it. It's just what it is. However, if he's looking for it and if he needs it, you know, the Mishnah that we did, it says, whoever chases kavod escapes from. Whoever escapes from kavod chases him. You remember that Mishnah we had in Perek? So this person went to his Rebbe and said, Rebbe, I run away from kavod, but he never chases me. How is that?
Because you're always looking back.
That's right. So you run away, but you're always looking back to see if it's chasing you. So you're not really running away. That's your way of chasing it. Because the Mishnah told you it will come to you like this. You're chasing it like this. Like, you're following it in the front. So that's what it is. Kavod is, I'm constantly looking at that to see who I am, what I am. What is your self-image? A person has to be healthy enough. Person has to be happy enough to have his own self-image regardless of others' kavod or lack of kavod. Yes, in a society, mostly, you have let's call it not well people also, or sometimes whatever they attack you for what seems to be no reason, or disrespect you for what seems to be unjust. But in general, society respects those who deserve respect. But if one needs it, then is motziin min ha'olam. Again, you're not living your own life at all. I think this is the ultimate. Your own self-image, how do you look at yourself? A lot of things when you're young, things make an impression on yourself. When I was 17, I was in 11th grade, and we had a big test in yeshiva, the whole Masechta test, and it was a big deal, 2 weeks of review, this and that. So there's this older bachor, I'm 17, he must have been 24 at that time, who I look up to and everything. And I goes, how did you do? I got 80%. I'm like, what? I thought you would do better than that. I said, no, I'm happy with what I got. So, because I think it reflects truly. I've been doing 80% of my capacity. Right? So, I don't know, that line stayed with me. I still remember it after so many years. Right? You got to have a certain self-image of yourself, regardless of what the grade says. And, if a healthy person could look at himself honestly, that's how he could grow also. But at least I don't need another's validation. Kavod is the ultimate motzinat adam min ha'olam. That's who you are, depending on what the kavod they give you. And the person, they didn't get up in front of me today, so my whole day is ruined. My whole day is ruined. Nobody could talk to me. I'm upset and I'm unhappy, and and I don't function well. You see this. So what happened to you? Why did you mess up that deal? Why didn't you talk nice? You have certain skills. Why didn't you do well? Well, somebody this morning, they didn't say hello to me. So I've been a little bit preoccupied. Good. Sometimes we have to think about it. This and that, maybe preoccupied. But if I need that kavod to exist, I need that kavod to have my self-image. What could be worse? What could be worse? I mean, this is the absolute definition of motzinat adam min ha'olam. One is not living his own life. So I think that's the common thread. These three, the problem is that they are not in olam. They are not living their own life. They're constantly living someone else's or some other life. They're not living their life. I have to have my neighbor's car in order to live. Not because it's good for me, because that's what it is. So he's not in life. He's never going to be happy. Okay,
we shall continue. About many other things, right? I mean, not only kavod. Because again, a guy can come and say, you know what? That is my life. I run after kavod. What do you mean I don't live my life? I live my life. My life, by definition, is running after kavod.
But it's never going to be life. That's what I'm saying. It's by definition. So you don't have a self-image. Your self-image is what others say. So it's never going to be up to you. So you're out of your world. You're out of your zone. You don't belong in the world you created for yourself. That's what it is.
I think the common denominator among the three is that there is no end, there is no limit It's a moving.
Because it comes from outside, it doesn't come from inside. That's
It's a
what it is.
moving target. Your jealousy is.
Exactly. Why is it?
Now him. Now
Good.
him.
So you're saying, I think you're saying what I said in a different in different words. So that means you didn't come from within. You have to live your life. You have to look at your own abilities, your own needs, your own wants to live. If you look at a moving target, that means you're not looking at yourself. You're not being honest with that. You're not, at the end of the day, at one with yourself.
Exactly. It's addressing the question.
I think so.
Man,
I think so.
yeah.
These are part of the halacha, like 613 mitzvahs.